Good morning. This is Friday, October 30th, 2020, and this is the Prepper Post News. I'm Perrin Lovett, and so we got your comments about the robot voice not liking the AI, so we're going to try this. I, last night, journeyed far, and I put down the Preppertron 9000, which I'll admit was trying to take over the industry. I didn't completely destroy it, but I don't think we'll be hearing from it for a while. Also, I saw some of the comments on the Civil War primer video, and I need to get over and respond to those. The one I really remember that stood out, Billy Bird Outdoors. Thank you so much. Called me a real person, which is not normally what I hear, but the best compliment I've had since the pandemic started. So let's see what we have for Friday. I shortened up the list of articles today. I've got something at the end that I think you'll find informative and important for next week. But this week, wow, 4 days in a row as of my recording, possibly an entire week of losses on Wall Street. Everybody's mystified, and of course the only thing that CNBC can think to blame in the story that I cite is the pandemic, the fear over the pandemic, and a lack of more stimulus, third or fourth or infinite round of fake money from the Fed and from Congress. It's not the fake money and the debt that has the economy messed up. It's the virus and the fear. So, just as soon as Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates gives us a vaccine, that'll all be over. Happy days. I'm already way off script, which I'm trying to read down here. But there's something else coming. I have a short article from Activist Post. This is nothing new about the coming digital currency. Everybody wants to go, they want to put a chip in your head or, have you swipe your phone. No more paper money. Everything will be ones and zeros in a computer. And that computer will be completely controlled by the central bankers of the world, the Fed, the Bank of England, the Bank for International Settlements, which means that they will have 100% control over everything that you earn and everything that you save or don't save, and much of your behavior. So that's, some people might call that a form of slavery, but, I choose to be optimistic. Look at the bright side, which I guess you would need to be an elite banker to see. But anyway, the elites outside of the banking system, they have this never-ending drive to dominate all life, if not on Earth, then under their control. Take, for instance, as Fox 5 New York did recently, Mayor Bill de Blasio's never-ending stupidity. What a man! His own daughter went out with the BLM crowd and allegedly committed crimes, and he cheered her on because he thought that was great. But he does not think it's great if you, a Manhattanite, decide to go out of town for Thanksgiving. I mean, who really travels to see family and friends for Thanksgiving? Because if you do, he won't have control of you. The virus might, come back and, run riot in Central Park. I'm starting to think that Bill de Blasio is a turkey. No call to get out of the cities. Get out of the cities, please. I've got to talk to him. I've got a lovely little friend. She's coming down from New York, I hope, for Thanksgiving, unless he blocks the bridges and whatever. Let's see here. But we've got a virus. There is a virus. YouTube canned the AI spoken video from Monday. We think it may have had to do with the somewhat sensational title. So, I don't want to deny that certain things are real. I just ask questions about them like anyone would. But if you ask questions in today's age, things happen to you. A man in Maryland went to vote, and he did not want to wear a mask on his face. So they to drive home the point that every vote counts, they threw him in jail. So this is going to be an election-themed news. So if you're in Maryland, mask up or, do like everybody else and vote 5 times remotely. Some of those might be counted. We don't know. But anyway, there was an article that I've got from Project 538, which is an important number for today, about why people don't vote. And I guess you could add to that fear of being arrested. The police are being called out to guard polls, but in some places people say that the polls are that the police are the intimidation factor. So it's a balancing act. People don't vote for a variety of reasons. The most important one that I could think of is that none of the candidates represent you, or that you think that both or all of the candidates available are evil, and you rightly do not wish to support that evil in any way. All things to take into consideration. Also take into consideration, if it's your morning drink, maybe like me, start your day with a little Freedom Roaster coffee. I mean, it's Freedom Roaster and it's coffee. Let's see. I've got a few more articles I'm going to let you go to. freedomprepper.com. Over on the your right-hand column is the daily news briefings every weekday. We've got some unrest breaking out in Europe and apparently in Utah. They have something in Utah called the Mom Code, which has to do with public schools, coronavirus, and Facebook. Fun. We've also got, out of New York, again, something from the New York Times. I didn't even bother to look at who wrote it, but it's about getting our democracy back and doing it right in the new multicultural age. It's a lie stacked on top of a lie on another lie, on a falsehood, on a misstatement. Only the Times would come up with something like this. I linked to it. You should read it. If for no other reason, the laugh factor. These people are not stupid. They just assume that you are. They almost got the last word, but the last word today is the Electoral College. That's 3 words, but it's one concept. And Scott had asked me to cover this. I've got, 7 minutes, 30 seconds. I've got a few minutes left. On the site, in today's article, I've got a short blurb called Indirect Democracy, and it provides a link to the Electoral College explanation page at InfoGalactic. If you don't know, InfoGalactic is like Wikipedia, but it's honest. They don't go in and willy-nilly change things to fit a certain agenda. And I included a colorful red and blue map of the United States from the IG page that gives you the 2016 presidential electoral college vote. 538 is an important number because that's the number of electors who actually elect the president and the vice president. And that 538 is arrived by coming up with all 435 representatives, the bribe-taking thieves in Congress, all 100 bribe-taking thieving senators from the Senate, and 3 stand-in representatives from the District of Columbia. So 538 people determine who goes to the White House. And this is the 2016 map. You'll notice some oddities. Of course, blue was for Clinton, and this year blue will be for Biden and Harris. And red, then and now, is Trump. Trump won, I think about 300 or so votes. There are little anomalies. Kasich got a vote. Bernie Sanders got a vote in Hawaii. And I'm just going to very briefly cover how that happens and why we have this system. Why do we go out and vote in a popular election if there's just going to be a second real vote a little later that actually determines what happens? And I call it indirect democracy. This all goes back to ancient ideas of the best form of government. And the consensus among the great thinkers was that the best government, and no government really lasts forever, as you know, or works well for long, but the best form is a blending of a Republican-style indirect democracy with an aristocracy and a little bit of a monarchy. And you even see that in the Constitution. And the way the Romans worked this, the Senate was, a hereditary noble body, the elite upper class. And they, every year, elected not one but two presidents, but they call them consuls. And these two consuls were in charge of the executive functions of the government, answered to the Senate, worked with the Senate, later turned into emperors who did not answer to the Senate. But while the system worked, these two consuls traded on again, off again by the month, and then every year there was a new appointment. So sometimes you would see the same ones again, sometimes they were one-offs. We started out back before the Constitution. You had the Articles of Confederation, and before that, the loosely governed Continental Congress. The original idea was that you would have these congressional representatives present to sort out the new government, and they would choose from one of their own number a president to preside over the Congress, mainly as a glorified clerk, somebody to break ties, run Robert's Rules of Order, things like that. And then under the Constitution, you'll find the beginning of the Electoral College in Article 2. Then there was a modification by the 12th Amendment. The 14th Amendment has bearing on it, and seems like one of the later amendments as well. But it's all spelled out that the state legislatures are in charge of picking who elects the president, these electors. And this process, it's all governed by state law. Mostly these days it's the same. It's the uniparty. You either have a slate of electors for the Democrat candidate or the Republican candidate. And sometimes they are legally bound to honor the majority party wish from the general election. Sometimes they're not. And frequently, at least, every other election, you'll see a vote for Ron Paul, vote for Bernie Sanders, somebody goes rogue. Sometimes that is permissible, sometimes that's technically illegal. Whichever state you're in, look up the law that governs the Electoral College in your state. And also, in non-presidential election years, on the ballot somewhere, there'll be a choice for the slate of electors. Pay really close attention to that. The way this was supposed to work originally, getting back to that blend, the House of Representatives was supposed to represent the people. That was your democratic voice. Your vote sent a man or woman to Washington and to do your bidding. The Senate originally represented the interest of the states themselves, and senators were originally appointed by the state legislatures. That was changed by the 17th Amendment to a direct election, which in my opinion was a horrible diluting of the popular sentiment and a gathering of power in Washington. Because under the indirect system, you had there was a double emphasis on your good voting. One, you wanted to vote, for a good guy down in Tallahassee or a good guy in Sacramento, so he would look out for you at the state level. But you also wanted somebody who would do a good job of picking your U.S. senator. So there was a double emphasis. And now everybody is, they're all bought and sold and paid for. And, you just watch the ads on Facebook and pick the one with the hairstyle that you like best. But we still have the lingering vestige with the election of the president. Out of these 538 votes, you need 270 to win the White House. I suspect that next week, Donald Trump, I think I ran the Real Clear Politics map, and I gave him 316. I think he's going to get reelected. However it works out, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. But I think there's going to be controversy, probably some court cases, probably some riots. This is 2020. But take a look at the Info Galactic page and look at my article. Make sure you get your coffee cups ready for some Freedom Roasters coffee. And I'm glad to be back with you, a real person with a real voice talking to real people. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up almost at 15 minutes. Have a great Friday, a great Halloween, and a great weekend. See you soon.